I still can't believe they thought they could get away with it. That they could just erase me from the most important day of my brother's life, and I wouldn't find out. I walked into my own brother's wedding, not as the maid of honor I was promised to be, but as a complete outsider, because his psycho-fiancé and my brother had been actively plotting my exclusion for months. How did I find out? Not through a heartfelt, or even cowardly, confession, but by hacking into a shared cloud calendar on a spare iPad. When I saw the entry, right there on the date of his wedding, it wasn't an invite for me. It was a cryptic note from his wedding planner saying, and I quote, ***, sisters invite, cancelled, no backup, needed, budget saved, ***, just like that, I was deleted. Tell me honestly, would you have swallowed that and let them have their perfect family, excluding wedding, or would you have walked in and absolutely destroyed their day? Because I chose the latter, and I don't regret a single, spectacular second of it. I guess to understand the depth of this betrayal, you have to know a little about my brother, Alex, and his now wife, Clara. Alex and I have always been thick as thieves. We're only 2 years apart, and growing up, we were inseparable, the classic brother-sister duo who fought over the remote but defended each other against the world. He was the one who taught me to drive stick, and I was the one who proofread every single college paper he wrote. We had a pact, no matter what, we'd always be each other's person. That's why, when he got engaged to Clara 2 years ago, I was genuinely ecstatic. She seemed sweet, a little controlling, yes, but I chalked that up to her being a hyper-organized type, a personality. It was a slight red flag when she started calling him Al, something he absolutely hated, and he just let her, but I brushed it off. It was his wedding, his life. I was going to be the supportive sister, and, more importantly, the maid of honor. Yes, that's right, my brother chose me to be his best man/man of honor/whatever you call it, because he said I was his true best person. Clara had her sister, Beth, as her maid of honor, and I was going to be the one standing right next to Alex. I felt incredibly honored. The initial planning stages were fine, a little chaotic, but what wedding isn't? Then the subtle shifts began. Clara started taking over everything. She insisted on a specific color palette that washed me out completely, then a dress style that was notoriously unflattering for my body type, all under the guise of aesthetic consistency. When I politely brought up my concerns, she'd get this icy, defensive look and say, "It's only one day, and it's for the photos, isn't it?" Alex, who used to always have my back, would just mumble something about keeping the peace, and tell me to go along with it. The first major fight came over the guest list. I have a long-term boyfriend, Leo, who Alex adores. They're great friends. Clara, however, was obsessed with keeping the numbers down for their exclusive, high-end venue. She announced, one casual Sunday brunch, that they'd decided to only invite immediate family and no plus ones. That was the first time I snapped. Leo is not a plus one, Clara. He's been my partner for 5 years, and he's practically family. She smiled that sickeningly sweet smile and said, "I know, but we have to draw the line somewhere, and unfortunately, you're the only one in the immediate family with a partner who's not already on the list as family." I pointed out that her third cousin, twice removed, who she barely spoke to, was on the list. Alex finally stepped in, not to defend me, but to smooth things over. He pulled me aside and promised me he'd figure it out, that Leo would be there, and that he'd talk to Clara. A few days later, he sent me a text, "Leo's in, don't worry, but seriously, stop fighting with Clara." I should have seen the writing on the wall then. but I was so focused on the fact that Leo was invited that I missed the underlying problem. Alex was sacrificing me, our bond, and my comfort for Clara's fragile ego and need for control. The next few months were a blur of miscommunications and oops, wrong text threads. I was slowly being frozen out of the planning. I wasn't included in the final dress fittings, the menu tasting, or the venue walkthrough. Every time I asked Alex about it, he'd be vague, distracted, or suddenly too busy. The final straw came about 6 weeks before the wedding. I had been texting the wedding planner, a sweet but harried woman named Denise, about the speech I was supposed to give. Denise was always very professional, but she started getting weirdly short with me, ignoring my questions about the timeline and only giving me non-committal answers. I started to get a terrible knot in my stomach. I remembered that Alex and Clara, being the tech-forward couple they were, had set up a shared Google Drive and calendar for all the wedding documents and appointments, accessible from my old iPad that I'd given to Alex for his birthday a couple of years back. I still had access to the shared drive from when I'd been in charge of the initial budget spreadsheet, and I'd never been removed. Late one night, the anxiety finally got to me. I grabbed the old iPad from my junk drawer, logged in with the saved credentials, and there it was. Not the main calendar, but a private, separate one titled ***, Clara and Al, Planner Comms. ***, my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I scrolled through the appointments, seeing reminders for the final seating charts, the bachelor party details, and then I found the entry for the wedding day itself, listed at the very top of the day's schedule, and there it was, an edit from 6 months prior. ***, sisters invite, cancelled, no backup needed, budget saved. ***, it was, a direct instruction to the planner. A cold, calculated decision made months ago, and they had kept me on the hook, humiliating me with the title of maid of honor for appearances only, while planning my total exclusion. I frantically searched the drive for the guest list. My name was nowhere on the final one. Leo's name was still there, but crossed out with a final, bolded note. Dorman instructed to turn away all unauthorized guests. They had planned to let me think I was going right up until the day, maybe sending a last-minute text saying I had to cancel due to an emergency. The cruelty was stunning. The budget saved was that all my relationship with my brother was worth to them. A line item on a spreadsheet. So that's the situation I was in. I had this nuclear-level secret, and I had 6 weeks to decide what to do with it. My own brother, the one who promised me we were a team, had systematically allowed his fiancée to cut me out of his life, and they were planning to do it in the most humiliating, public yet private way possible. I had to make a choice. Do I confront him now and risk him spinning the lie, or do I use this information to create a consequence so massive that they would never forget the cost of their betrayal? Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and *** comment below what you would have done in my shoes. ***, would you have told Alex you knew, or would you have gone for the full nuclear option? I decided I couldn't confront him. He was a master of evasion now, and I knew he'd just blame Clara, claim he was going to fix it, and somehow make me the hysterical villain for snooping. No, I needed proof, and I needed an action that spoke louder than any argument. I started planning my own spectacular, uninvited appearance. The first step was to confirm my exclusion without tipping my hand. I sent a text to Alex. Hey, just confirming my time for my maid of honor speech. Should I aim for around 5 minutes? He replied almost instantly. Oh, honey, we actually decided to keep the speeches to just the dads and the best man, sorry. Just one less thing to worry about for you. You're still my best person. Though, the lie was so smooth it made me sick. That was all the confirmation I needed. The maid of honor was officially not allowed to speak. My strategy was simple. Asterisk asterisk, I would attend the wedding, but not as the cancelled sister. Asterisk asterisk, I would attend as the person they had specifically excluded, an unauthorized guest. The key was the wedding attire. I knew Clara's theme was bohemian chic. Think muted pastels, flowy fabrics, and a generally soft, understated look. I had to be the antithesis of that. I went out and bought a dress that was not just bright, but asterisk luminous. Asterisk, it was a vibrant, almost neon asterisk asterisk, emerald green asterisk asterisk silk gown. A color that would pop like a spotlight in their muted color scheme. It was elegant, expensive, and completely inappropriate for a bohemian afternoon wedding. Then, I booked an appointment with a high-end hair and makeup artist, instructing them to give me a look that screamed old Hollywood glamour. Dark, smoky eyes, a deep red lip, and structured, glamorous curls. I wanted to look magnificent, yes, but also completely out of place, like a visiting movie star who'd walked onto the wrong set. The day of the wedding arrived, and the air was thick with tension I felt only internally. I drove myself to the venue, a stunning, rustic chic barn outside the city. I arrived exactly 30 minutes late, intentionally missing the actual ceremony. I parked in the VIP section, where the planner's car was, because I knew they wouldn't dare tow a car there during the ceremony. I walked up to the entrance, just as the cocktail hour was beginning. The moment I stepped through the massive wooden doors, I felt every single head in the room swivel toward me. My dress was a beacon, my presence a shockwave. The first person to spot me was Denise, the wedding planner. Her eyes went wide with pure panic. She rushed over, clipboard clutched to her chest. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but I don't see your name on the final guest list, and we've been instructed." I cut her off with a sacker, in sweet smile. "Oh, my name is on my asterisk brother's list, Denise. I'm his sister." I paused, my voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper only she could hear. "Look, I know what your planner notes said. Sister's invite, cancelled. I saw it. I know exactly what Alex and Clara did. Now you have a choice. You can try to make a scene and have me dragged out, which, by the way, will cause a spectacular scene for all 200 of these very important guests, and you'll be the one to tell the mother of the groom that her daughter was escorted by security. You can just seat me quietly and pretend you never saw me. Your call." Denise's face went from pale to ghostly. She knew the power dynamic. A fired planner is one thing. A planner who causes a family scandal at a high-end wedding is career suicide. She stammered a quiet, "This way, ma'am," and quickly led me to a small, empty table tucked away near the kitchen entrance. A table meant for a last-minute vendor, perfect. The moment Alex saw me, his jaw actually dropped. He was mid-cheers with his groomsmen, and the glass froze halfway to his lips. Clara was across the room, talking to her mother, and I saw her maid of honor, Beth, whisper something to her, pointing in my direction. Clara's sweet smile curdled into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. I simply gave Alex a little, almost imperceptible wave, and took a sip of the champagne that Denise had hastily placed in front of me. The air was electric. Everyone who knew me knew I was supposed to be in the bridal party, but here I was, tucked away in a neon green dress that looked like it was from a totally different event. The real drama started during the toasts. Alex, who had been avoiding my gaze for the past hour, finally had to sit down for the dinner service. His best man, a guy named David, gave a lovely, traditional speech. Then Clara's father spoke, and then the microphone was handed to Beth, Clara's sister and maid of honor. Beth stood up, and I braced myself. This was the moment for the public lie. She started off traditionally enough, praising the couple, but then she veered directly into my territory. And I just want to say, as Clara's maid of honor, I've had the distinct honor of being her rock and confidante through this entire process. We did everything together. The dress fittings, the menu, the venue. It's been a dream come true for a sister to be so deeply involved. She looked right at me, a smug, tiny smile playing on her lips. I know Alex has a sister, and I know she was supposed to be involved, but this day is truly about the new family uniting, and sometimes you have to make hard choices about who truly belongs by your side on a day like this. The implication was thick and ugly. Everyone went silent. I couldn't let that stand. Not after all the months of lies. I stood up from my table, that bright green dress commanding the room, and I walked deliberately toward the center of the reception hall, right up to where Beth was standing. I gently took the microphone from her hand. The music had stopped. The room was utterly silent. I looked out at my brother, whose face was a mixture of fear and absolute, sick relief that his secret was now a bomb going off. Clara looked like she was about to spontaneously combust. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I was perfectly, terrifyingly calm. I apologize for interrupting. I began, my voice clear and amplified by the microphone. My name is your name, and I am Alex's sister. For those of you who don't know, I was originally asked to be his maid of honor. I paused, letting that sink in. Then I turned to Beth. It's true, Beth. This day is about the new family uniting, and I was just informed that I was cut from the guest list 6 months ago to save budget, and kept around to save face until the last possible minute. I looked directly at Alex. 6 months ago, brother, your fiancé and you made a calculated decision to pretend I was still a part of this day while secretly planning my total exclusion. You did this to your only sister, your best person, who you swore an eternal bond to. I saw my mother at the head table, her hand flying to her mouth, tears instantly welling up. My father looked absolutely defeated. I didn't come here to cause a scene. I lied beautifully. I came here because I wanted everyone to know that this isn't just a wedding, it's a statement. A statement that the old bonds are disposable, and that love can be a transactional expense that can't be canceled to save budget. I handed the microphone back to a stunned Beth. Congratulations to the happy couple, and may your marriage be stronger than the word of honor my brother gave to his sister. I didn't wait. I turned, walked out of the banquet hall, and got back into my car. The last thing I heard as the door swung shut was a chair scraping back from the head table and the loud, high-pitched wail of Clara, and then the muffled sounds of 100 people trying to process what they'd just witnessed. The aftermath was exactly what I expected. Total chaos. My phone blew up immediately. Alex called me 12 times in a row, then texted a novel of excuses. He claimed Clara had gone behind his back, that he'd meant to fix it, that the canceled note was an old mistake. But I had the evidence, the screenshots of the calendar note and the planner's frantic face. I knew the truth. My parents were distraught. My mother was angry at me for ruining the day, but my father, bless his heart, called me the next morning and quietly said he made his bed. I saw what they did. The whole family took sides, of course. Team Clara said I was an unhinged drama queen who couldn't handle not being the center of attention. Team me, which included all of Alex's lifelong friends, said Alex had sacrificed his family for a controlling partner and got exactly what he deserved. The relationship with Alex is still strained. Months later, we talk, but it's not the same. The trust is gone. He's furious that I exposed the ugly truth behind their perfect facade. Clara, I hear she's still livid. I hear their wedding photos, perfect as they were, are tainted for her because the memory of the neon green dress and the sound of my voice still hangs over them like a curse. I took their control, their secret, and I weaponized it. I may not have been the maid of honor, but I was the undeniable center of attention, and I told the truth. I don't regret it because they didn't just cancel an invite. They tried to cancel me, and I refused to go quietly. So, that's the end of my story, for now. I know a lot of people will say I went too far, that I should have taken the high road and talked to him privately, but honestly, I think I saved myself years of quiet resentment and slowly being erased from his life. I forced the issue, and now everyone knows the kind of people they are. Sometimes, you have to be the villain in their story to be the hero in your own. Asterisk asterisk, like this video, if you were on my side, asterisk asterisk, and you think I gave them a taste of their own cold, calculated medicine. Asterisk asterisk, subscribe for more stories like this asterisk asterisk, where I dive deep into the messy, unbelievable parts of life. And please, asterisk asterisk, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. Asterisk asterisk, did I do the right thing, or was I too dramatic? I want to know what you think. I'll see you all in the next story.